What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to a weekly gaming news show, the podcast where two console gaming veterans discuss the weekly news in the gaming universe. We are your hosts. My name is Trenell, and as always, I'm here with the homeboy Todd. What's going on, Todd?
What's up? What's up? Not much, man. I'm just here maintaining.
Happy freaking after the Super Bowl. Happy Patriots losing the Super Bowl day.
I like that. The only thing I wanted yesterday, because I'm not an Eagles fan,
right.
But I am definitely a Patriots hater.
I'm a Patriots hater. I like that.
And I did not want to see Tom Brady or Bill Belichick or any Gronkowski or any of them win anything.
Yeah. Same here.
Especially what they did to Malcolm Butler. You heard about that, right?
Nah, what was that? I don't keep up too much with football.
Okay, so Malcolm Butler a couple years ago when they played Seattle, he's the dude that made the interception in the end zone.
Okay.
And he's been one of the best defenders for the past 2 or 3 years.
Okay.
During the national anthem, they came to him and said, "You're not playing tonight."
Dang.
He's the starter. Started every game this season. Played like over 95% of the snaps. And right before national anthem, they say, "Oh yeah, you're not playing tonight."
Dang.
That's pretty dirty. Yeah. And I personally think it's because he's a free agent, and they were trying to devalue him.
Okay.
If he came in the Super Bowl, had a another huge game, they have to pay him huge money, and I think they did it to devalue him. It's a dirty move.
Yeah, I mean, you know how much money is trading hands for football is like one of the most expensive sports ever. We could talk about that all day, but we want to get into the show. Welcome. If you guys are watching us, this show is being pre-recorded. We didn't go live because of the Super Bowl last night. We wanted to make sure you guys had something, so we're recording this, and it will be uploaded to all of the proper channels once it's over. We're not going to be able to stream that Monday night, but you will see us. So unfortunately, we won't have the Q&A section, but we do have some news we want to bring to you guys, so let's go ahead and jump into it. First and foremost, though, we have to do our weekly icebreaker, which I feel like we just kind of did, but we can elaborate a little bit. The weekly icebreaker is a segment on the show where we discuss certain gaming related topics. Sometimes we like to go off the cuff and discuss things that are non-gaming related. And because of the celebration and the festivities around the Super Bowl, I think that we should keep it centered around that. So we want to ask the question, what was your favorite Super Bowl ad? Now we both have our favorite. Boogie, I'll let you go ahead and start it off.
Yeah, it's easy for me. It was the Peter Dinklage, Morgan Freeman, Doritos, Mountain Dew commercial. Now, I eat Doritos. I don't drink Mountain Dew, but and this commercial's not going to make me buy it, but I still thought the commercial was off the hook. I really enjoyed that commercial.
Same here, man. I don't really do too much soda anymore, and I'm more into like kettle cooked chips instead of like Doritos.
Ones,
I like that crunch. But if I'm ever craving some Doritos, I'll buy a bag of Doritos. But those commercials were dope, man. Peter Dinklage freaking spitting that Busta Rhymes verse, man.
That was crazy.
Right? That was crazy. And then Morgan Freeman with Missy Elliott. I was like, oh my god.
The whole thing between both was just their facial expressions and their body movement.
It was
good. It was really good.
That was a really good one. Honorable mention though to the Tide commercials, because they kind of just like intercepted like a whole bunch of different commercials, and so like he made you think like, oh well, if it's clean it must be Tide, so is every commercial a Tide commercial? Right. I thought that was pretty funny. They even brought back the Old Spice dude for another like little like small cameo, and they were both on the horse, but it was a Tide commercial.
Get off my horse.
Yeah. And then the Mr. Clean one, that was pretty funny. I thought that they were pretty funny.
They did a pretty good job.
Yeah, not a whole bunch of like awesome commercials. Like overall, I think that this Super Bowl ad season was a little on the weaker side, but the ones that hit hard.
Yeah. I think the issue was everybody tries, and most of them tried way too hard.
Yeah,
and they just overshot what they were looking for.
Maybe.
I mean, one of the worst ones was the Keanu Reeves Squarespace one. I mean, come on, get out of here.
Wix. You know what? I actually saw one on TV like a couple of weeks earlier that was way better.
Oh, really?
Yeah, because he's on the motorcycle and he's asking himself like, I really like motorcycles. And then like a silhouette of his face in the sky is like talking to him. He's like, yeah, you do like motorcycles. I thought that was way funnier, but that came out like weeks ago. But yeah, I agree. Yeah, not the strongest collection of commercials, but they did have some ones that stood out. The Doritos and Mountain Dew commercial was clearly the MVP. Let us know what your favorite Super Bowl ad was. You know what I hate? I hate when they're like Super Bowl ads or ads are claimed as Super Bowl ads before the Super Bowl.
Yeah,
I'm like, they're not Super Bowl ads. The Super Bowl hasn't started yet.
Yeah, they started pre-releasing their Super Bowl ads. A lot of these ads, including the Morgan Freeman one, it was on YouTube a couple of days before.
Oh, I didn't even know.
Yeah, so I don't. Yeah, that's disappointing. I mean, if it's going to be a Super Bowl ad, make it a Super Bowl ad.
Right.
Don't let me see it beforehand. If you're going to put it on YouTube afterwards, that's fine.
Right.
But yeah, I don't like that.
Yeah, I don't like seeing Super Bowl ads before the Super Bowl. I don't know.
Right. Exactly.
You're already trying to get me to buy something. At least make it special. One thing that they did show off was the freaking Avengers Infinity War Part 1.
Oh yeah.
That looks good.
You know what else? Sick. You know what else got me hyped up was the Star Wars. That's the Solo.
The Han Solo movie?
Yeah, man, that looks a lot more. I thought it'd be more campy. Mm-hmm. Than what they showed. That trailer has me thinking it's going to be a little more darker than the normal Star Wars fare, and I'm definitely interested in that for sure.
Yeah, we'll have to see. I mean, I haven't seen the most recent one, The Last Jedi, but apparently a lot of people were not, 100% satisfied with it.
It's good. Don't listen to those.
I don't know. I'm just saying. It's
good. It's really good.
But yeah, I mean, if they could do this where they come out with a tried and true sequel,
yeah,
every other year, and then in the meantime or in the middle they have like a side film,
like the canon, yeah.
That's a lot of.
The last one was the Rogue One, which was the story of how they got the plans to the Death Star, which I thought was pretty good. I mean, yeah, I'm liking what Disney is doing with Star Wars.
They pumping things out, man.
Yeah, eventually there's going to be overload, but as it is right now, is fine. Yeah. I think, in my opinion.
Okay. But yeah, again, let us know what you guys thought about the Super Bowl ads. If there's any that stood out to you, what was your favorite? Leave your opinions and down in the description, and let's get this discussion started. But with that said, we can go ahead and move on to the next segment, which is our quick hits. And these are quick, short, little lightning round topics that deserve your attention. Don't necessarily deserve a deep dive, but we do want to talk to you about them. So Boogie, why don't you go ahead and give us the first one? Oh man, yeah, this one's sad, but go ahead.
Yeah, so our first story comes from Rockstar.
Rockstar Games.
Rockstar Games. Red Dead Redemption 2 gets yet another delay. So it was originally supposed to be fall of last year, fall of 2017. They pushed it to spring of this year, spring of 2018. And they just recently announced that Red Dead Redemption 2 is getting pushed back yet again. Now it's slated for an October release. At least they did give us a specific date. I think it's October 26th is the date of the game will be released. So we do know exactly when it's coming out, but it's just coming out essentially a year later than the original release date of fall 2017.
Yeah. I mean, and like with all delays, I'm not mad at it. Anything that can make the game a better product, I'm all for it. I don't want to think that they're trying to implement some kind of sneaky tactics or whatever, because there's a lot riding on this game,
right?
As far as what consumers want and what the CEO and what stockholders have said that they're going to do.
Right, and so, I'm sorry, again, finish.
No, that was pretty much it.
Yeah, so I'm thinking. So Rockstar specifically said they wanted to polish the game, and my wonder is if they had some kind of microtransaction system that was close to what Star Wars is, and they want to retool it.
Yeah.
Or maybe they're just ironing out some kinks. Maybe they ran into some glitches or some technical issues they're trying to clean up. But
yeah,
I mean, time will only tell. I'm still excited for this game, but not as excited as the initial launch, just because of what you said, what the CEOs come out and said regarding how they want to monetize games going forward.
Yeah. So we'll have to wait and see what they have in store for us. Red Dead Redemption is going to be a must-buy for me personally. I'm a huge fan of the series. I've been playing since Red Dead Revolver back on the OG PC. OG Xbox. I remember playing that.
I had Revolver on the PC. I played that.
On the PC. That's crazy.
I had that. And there was another one. This one came in a yellow box. Something about the gun. Not Way of the Gun.
I think I know what you're talking about. Is that in the Red Dead series?
No, it's not a Red Dead game.
Oh, okay.
It came out. It was like a direct competitor.
Okay. Wasn't that like Call of Juarez or something like that?
No, not Call of Juarez.
Juarez?
Yeah, it was something else. It was. I remember the case was yellow.
Okay.
That's all That's all I remember about the game. The game was kind of forgettable. Red Dead Revolver was much better, and when Red Dead Redemption came out on the consoles, I was all in on it.
Right. Yeah, I was all in. I mean, it was a fantastic game, and I feel like this one's going to be fantastic too. It's just with the way that they want to monetize, gaming after the purchase. Mm-hmm. It just seems like. I don't know. It seems like they're trying to push gamers away. Gamers like me, because that's exactly what they're gonna be doing. They're gonna be pushing me away. I'm not gonna buy it if it has any type of like microtransaction, like madness. At least in the single player. Like if it's only multiplayer, I may be able to deal with that. But if there's any type of like random loot boxes in the actual story, that's gonna paint a bad picture for me, and I'm probably not gonna pick it up. But we have another story here in our quick hits. Let's go ahead and jump into that one.
This one has to do with Far Cry 5. That's coming out, what's this, March, right? Isn't it this March? March or April?
I think so. Yeah.
So Far Cry is coming out, and then, of course, they announced the Season Pass. The Season Pass has three packs, Dead Living, a zombie pack, it looks like Hours of Darkness. I guess that's some kind of monster pack, and then there's one called Lost on Mars. Mm-hmm. But the notable thing about their season pass is they're going to also include Far Cry 3, the classic edition. It's the full game. So on top,
I'm really excited about that because I think Far Cry 3 is probably my favorite one out of the franchise. Mm-hmm. Just because of like how awesome the bad guy Zaz was. Zaz was like made that game. He was so like entertaining. I will say that the main character, the one that you control, was like Jason Brody. I did not like him, but I did enjoy Zaz, and I did enjoy the story. And I enjoyed like all of the updates and things that they brought to the franchise. A lot of stuff that carried over to like later games. Like you had a lot of elements from 3 carry over to 4, which is why I kind of got a little bit fatigued with the series at 4, because it seemed like they were trying to do 3, but not as good.
Yeah, got it.
Yeah. So, but this is super interesting because Far Cry 5, my girlfriend is buying that game. She wants that one. And so if she gets to buy this and with the season pass also get one of my favorite Far Cries, I think this is a franchise that she's gonna have a lot of fun with. And the actual packs don't look too bad themselves, because if they're anything like the Blood Dragon pack from Far Cry 3, we're in for a good time.
Oh, that's cool.
Because have you ever played Far Cry 3 Blood Dragon?
No, I have not actually. No.
Yo, it was a expansion that was also like standalone. So if you didn't have Far Cry 3, it didn't matter. It just let you download the expansion. It was like it's like a arcade title back on the 360. And man, that thing was so much fun. And it looks like they're going with that like over the top quirkiness with these other expansions as well, with like zombies and Mars people or whatever. So it seems like it's going to be interesting. Far Cry 5 has been a game that I've been looking out for a while. So this is gonna be cool. I can't wait to get my hands on Far Cry 5. It's gonna be fun.
I'm definitely interested in Far Cry 5. It's probably something I played. Like the last Far Cry game I played was 2. I'm pretty certain.
Wow, Far Cry 2 was cool though.
Yeah, it was pretty good. I wanted 3. I wanted to play 3, and I remember wanting to play 4. I just never got around to it. It's just one of those things. It just never got around to it. But I'm probably going to get 5, and I'll probably buy the season pass so I can go back and play 3, because you're not the only person that's told me how good 3 was.
Yeah. And see, I don't normally do season passes, especially, well, I mean, in this case, they're actually telling us what we're going to be getting. A lot of times you don't even know what you're going to get.
Right.
So, like, seeing what we're getting and seeing that we're going to get an entire game, just for this season pass, like, I'm down for that.
Yeah, that's a good value.
Yeah, I agree. So I'll definitely be purchasing that. I can't wait until the game comes out. It's going to be a blast. But yeah, that is our quick hit. So let us know what you guys think. Are you excited about Far Cry 3 Classic coming back? And I believe this is going to be like a definitive style edition of the game.
Far Cry Classic, yeah.
Yeah, Far Cry Classic is like the definitive edition or definitive version of Far Cry 3. So that's going to be cool. So it should be able to take advantage of current gen hardware. So that's going to be cool, because all the Far Cry games are like, built in these like lush, beautiful jungle environments. So it should look really good on Xbox One and PlayStation 4. So yeah, I definitely cannot wait for that. But yeah, let us know what you guys think about Far Cry 5 and Red Dead Redemption 2 down in the description. Or I'm sorry, down in the comment section. And let's go ahead and move on to the next segment, which is going to be our top 5 news stories for the week. But before we do that, I do want to give a quick shout out to our sponsor, which is going to be the New Challengers. So if you're trying to get good at your favorite fighting game, including the newly released Dragon Ball FighterZ, the New Challenger Discord is where you want to be. They are currently taking in a slew of new fighters, especially with Dragon Ball FighterZ, and they actually just announced when they would be starting the upcoming tournament season. I think it's going to start on the 11th, so next week is when it's going to start. So if you want to join up, go to newchallenger.gg, join the Discord server, and say what's up to Mount Lover. He is going to be spearheading the Dragon Ball FighterZ community within New Challengers. It's a huge task for him, and I plan on helping him out a little bit. But this is going to be awesome. Also sporting Tekken 7, Injustice 2, Marvel vs. Capcom Infinite, and Street Fighter 5. If you're trying to get good at any current generation fighting game, this is where you want to go. So make sure you follow them on Twitter as well. They're New Challenger TV. And check out their YouTube channel. Shouts out to Mr. Vinegar, who is the founder of the Discord channel. And Mount Lover is, as always, just doing work over there. So big ups to the homie. And thank you guys for sponsoring the podcast. With that said, let's go ahead and jump into the top 5 news stories. And first up, we got a story coming out of Sony. This is one of my favorite topics to always tackle. And, it was something that we do every single month. And that is the free games for PlayStation Plus for this upcoming month. So the games were announced. And you know what? I've been noticing something. Sony has not really been advertising these things anymore like that. They don't make their own videos. They don't do anything. Like, I was looking around for graphics and stuff to use for this story, but Sony doesn't even. They just put out a little press release with some pictures, and that's it.
Yeah, well, last month they did it. They're hit and miss. Like you said, you said, they don't seem to be getting way behind it like they used to. Mm-hmm. Especially when they first started it, and I don't know, because the last couple of months the games have been pretty good. I mean, last month is Deus Ex, right? Mankind Divided, and now this month, I mean, they have the classic Knack, which Knack 2 just came out this past year, right? And then Rhyme, which is a indie darling, has been an indie darling. So the games are good. I don't know why they're not talking it up, unless it's an issue where they have to pay for each download and they want to cut costs.
Yeah, I'm not
sure why, but yeah, they didn't make a big fuss about these at all this month.
Yeah, I don't, and yeah, I agree with you. Like these are two um kind of like must plays. I mean, I've always Knack is I've heard Knack to be one of the most mediocre games ever ever created, but Rhine was talked about extensively around its release. So that's definitely one that I'm going to be getting. If you have the PlayStation 3, you'll be able to download Spelunker HD.
Yeah, that's like a Dig Dug type.
Well, it's like Splunky. It's like
yes.
it's a spelunking type game.
Right.
Not made by the guys behind Splunky. But yeah, it has no relation to the actual Splunky game, but it is in the same vein. Right. That you can also get a game called Mugen Soul Z, which is like a strategy RPG.
Right.
So those are on the PlayStation 3, and I think they still have a VR game available as well. Then they have
Starblood Arena launch. The Starblood Arena that's available, I think, until March.
Mm-hmm. And then I don't see what the Vita games are.
Exiles End and Grand Kingdom, and then Grand Kingdom is cross-buy, so you can actually play it on PlayStation 4.
Okay. Yeah. So yeah, go ahead.
And then again this month, like they did last month. Last month was Warframe. This month they've given a starter pack for a free-to-play game. This game is called Gems of War. It becomes available on the 13th of February, runs through March 13th. You get 10 gems, 2,500 souls, and a No Ben Brothers troop.
Okay.
So if you play that game, I think that's like one of those card games in the vein of what Magic the Gathering and that type of thing. But yeah, so you get a starter pack for that, and so I mean, Rime is a great game. If you haven't played it, go out and get it. It's pretty good. Knack is I've always heard Knack as one of those is great or is garbage type thing.
Yeah, I've heard like polarizing stories on it, but I've always been interested in it. I'm all about like platforming games. Like that's my jam. So I'll probably pick it up and give it a play. I don't think it's that long, so I'll probably pick it up just to play it and have it. But Brian, I definitely plan on spending some time on that one. That game has been talked about way too much for me to pass that one by.
Right, exactly.
All right, but yeah, go ahead. We're gonna go ahead and move on to the next story. We got some Nintendo news. We got a slew of Nintendo news. A lot, some of them which are updates, but some that actually some news that broke this week. So let's go ahead and jump into that. First up on the list, we have a confirmation for the Mario movie. Back in November, I believe it was, we reported that rumors were stirring around the possibility of a fully featured movie, animated of course, featuring the Nintendo mascot Mario himself. Well, it looks like it's actually going to happen. And so along with Illumination Entertainment, the same people behind Despicable Me, Minions, and The Life of Pets, all of Life of Pets, which is really good. I really like that movie. They sent out a tweet basically confirming it, and the Mr. Nintendo himself, Shigeru Miyamoto, will co-produce the movie. So that's pretty good, because I've heard that he's very particular about the finite details when it comes to Mario. So he will keep those guys in check. You know what I'm saying? He'll make sure that they stick with the source material or whatever, and nothing really gets messed with. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So that was actually really cool. According to some reports, it's a feature-long film, and it will be distributed by Universal. But we do not have a release date as of this time.
No, and they're going to keep it under wraps as long as possible.
Yeah.
Like I said, Illumination makes some. If you haven't seen any of their movies, Despicable Me, of course, but my actual favorite Illumination movie is Sing. If you haven't seen that movie is pretty awesome.
Sing is pretty entertaining. I like that one as well.
They've done some good. They've done the Lorax, which was pretty good as well. So they have some good chops. I don't see where this is a bad deal for Nintendo.
No, not at all. I mean, it's going to be fully animated, so they can kind of do whatever they want with the story. It's probably going to be along the vein of Princess Peach gets captured by Bowser and Mario has to go get her.
Right.
My only question is, will Mario be fully voice acted?
Yeah, that's
or will he just do the woo-ha-woo-ha-hoo? You know what I'm saying?
right, like he normally does. Yeah, that'd be interesting. I would like to see him mute, just like he is in the game.
Right, yeah, because I can see it going either way because the voice actor for Mario, he's been voice acting Mario since he's had a voice,
right,
primarily. So I can see it going in either way, but it would actually be interesting, or I think it would make for very well, or it would make for a better storytelling if he was a mute and they were able to tell a story with a mute character.
Yeah.
Anytime that you could do that, I personally appreciate it more.
It's more engaging.
Yeah.
I feel. Yeah. And I'm correct. I don't remember. I remember he had a cartoon. Did he talk in his cartoon?
He did, but he had I think that was an American-made cartoon.
Mm-hmm.
I think like Deke Entertainment made that back in the day. So he had the old like guttural freaking like New York Italian plumber voice. Like he was actually a plumber back then. I don't think Mario has touched a toilet in quite some time.
Yeah, well, they announced, remember, that actually made news, right? They announced that he's no longer a plumber.
Yeah,
they announced him as a former plumber, I think it said.
Former plumber.
Yeah, non-practicing or something like that. But yeah.
Yeah, so
I'm interested. I will watch it. I know my daughter will watch it. She's all into Mario for some reason. I don't even know where it came from. So I got a kid.
Mario's cool, man. I think it has a lot to do with his color scheme, man. Just the red and the blue and the hat, like it all just looks really cool and magical. And especially with the more recent games, Mario looks like a freaking magician with all the tricks and flips and all that stuff that he does. Coming from me when he was just a collection of pixels to this is like this guy's magic.
A million miles.
Yeah, it's a million miles away. Yeah. So yeah, that's going to be interesting. I can't wait to actually see it. I think the first trailer is going to be something super special. Right. So yeah, I can't wait for that. Let's go ahead and move on to the next Nintendo story that we got, and that is Nintendo Switch Online has been confirmed. We have a release window. I'm saying window because I do not think they're going to be able to pull it off, man. I don't know. I feel like they're going to get a lot of backlash for this.
Yeah, we were talking about this earlier. I mean, when Microsoft Xbox Live has always been paid online play. So you bought a Xbox, that's what you knew. PlayStation, when they went from free to play to paid service, they tiered it. They started on PlayStation 3 with PlayStation Plus, but you just subscribe to that to get the free games. And then when they moved it to PlayStation 4, they added the online play. So it was a generation jump. Nintendo essentially is saying, okay, you can play online for free now, but in September, you're going to have to pay. That is going to be a problem because, again, people in the gaming community, Nintendo prides itself on reaching out and reaching people that aren't normally primarily big time gamers.
Or kids.
And kids, right? So when it's as it is now, the kids are online playing Mario Kart and they're online playing Splatoon. Come September, they're not going to be able to play, and their parents are going to see now an extra cost. And it may be a deal where the parent brought this game under the impression and thinking, hey, I don't have to pay online.
Online, yeah.
Like I have to pay for Xbox or Microsoft, so I'm going to buy the Switch. Now it is cheaper, but I still think when you go and start taking stuff away that was with your game initially, with your system initially, that's going to cause problems and a backlash.
Yeah, and then what about the people that pick up or are late adopters? They're just going to have to start off with just paying for online service. I don't really think that it's super fair. And it doesn't look like Nintendo is giving early adopters anything substantial.
No, but they don't. That's why I always say Nintendo is consumer. I can't even think
consumer hostile.
Yeah, I can't think of it, but yeah, they're consumer hostile because and the thing is, they know that they have a fan base that's going to go with whatever they say, so they can pull this stuff. They can pull this nonsense.
Yeah, I mean,
if Microsoft did this, it'd be a field day. Microsoft would get lynched. And if Sony did it, there would be some backlash. But I mean, Microsoft is up here, Sony's here, Nintendo just kind of is able to just get away with it.
Do whatever, yeah.
And I mean that's why they're selling Mario, a 3-year-old game, for $60. on the Switch and refuse to drop the price because they feel like they can get away with it.
Yeah, and that was one of the biggest problems that I had with the Switch. It was how a lot of its library is Wii U games that are being sold on the Switch for full price. I mean, and they're still releasing them. We have Donkey Kong Country Returns or Donkey Kong Country was a Tropical Freeze coming out. That's going to be full price with the only addition being Funky Kong. Like that's not worth full price, boy. Like I don't know. But it will come in tiers. You can pay $3.99 per month, $7.99 for 3 months, or $19.99 for the full year. And and they will have they're gonna offer a compilation of classic titles each month. Each month,
one a month.
Yeah, one game per month will be available to play for free for that month. So unlike PlayStation and Xbox where they give you the option of downloading a game and keeping it, well, in the PlayStation's case, as long as you have PlayStation Plus, you can keep it. But on Xbox, if you download a game on Games for Gold, it's yours. It doesn't matter if you discontinue the service or not. Nintendo is only going to allow you to play that one game for that 1 month, and then it will be
another title.
Yeah, it'll be swapped out with another title. Then you can play that one for that month. This is going to include games like Balloon Fight and Dr. Mario and Super Mario Bros. Like a bunch of like NES titles.
Classic Nintendo games is what they said. So look for original games. NES and maybe some Super Nintendo games. Maybe. And they say they add leaderboards and online multiplayer where applicable.
That'll be cool. Like if you can play some F-Zero online, that would be dope. But other than that, I really don't know, man. Since the inception of the Switch Online service, I have been under the impression that it's not worth it. No. Even at the lower price point than the other two, I still don't think that it's worth it. I get a lot more bang for my buck when I pay for either Xbox Live or PlayStation Plus. Go ahead.
The problem is they're making you buy it if you want to play online. So if you want to get online and play Splatoon 2, you have to have the service or you're not playing that online.
Yeah.
And that's the problem I have with it. It's not that there's a charge for service or it's less featured, because yes, it's less featured, but it's a third of the price. That's fine, right? Or half the price, I should say. But when I have something and you take it away from me and tell me I have to pay for it now, that's where I have a problem.
Yeah, like if the Switch launched with online service, fine, whatever. Like it's been there since it came out. But to have, free online during your entire like launch window, and now that you have a base, now that you have all of these people with Switches, now you're gonna start charging for online. I don't think it's gonna go by well. We'll have to see if the Nintendo, what are they, the sheep?
Yeah, Nintendo the sheep.
Yeah, we'll have to see if the sheep have any backbones, and we'll call Nintendo out on this, because I honestly think that this is terrible. I don't think the Nintendo Switch warrants an online service when I can't even communicate with my friend online.
Yeah, you have to use your phone or a third party option.
Yeah, no.
It's silly. Let's go on to the next
one. We got a couple of more Nintendo stories. So we're going to move on to the next one. And we mentioned the Wii U a couple of times. And speaking of the Wii U, the Nintendo Switch has, as of now, outsold the Wii U in its entire life cycle.
And this is as of December 31st. So January sales are not included in it. So as of December 31st, Nintendo sold 14.86 million Switches compared to 13.56 million in 5 years for the Wii U.
Yeah. They've also sold just about half of its software sales as well. Right,
in 10 months. Yeah. I mean, those numbers are outrageous. Especially when you consider the fact the first 6 months at least, people couldn't get Switches.
Yeah.
People couldn't get Switches at all because they were constrained. And people were accusing Nintendo of artificially constraining sales, but it came out that they were having a hard time getting components because a lot of components they use, smartphone makers use them.
Yeah,
and that particular most of them have been ordered or spoken for. Mainly, specifically, Apple was what was blamed, and it was right around the time Apple was ready to release their new iPhone series.
Yeah.
So, I mean, that's not their fault. And since then, since September, I mean, Switches have been abundant as far as I can tell.
Yeah.
I've seen them in stores all the time now.
Yeah, there hasn't been any news stories about them being sold out and like nobody can get them and like, oh, you can get Switches now. Like I haven't seen any of those. But you know, this is, I don't know, like when every time I see like news stories about numbers when it comes to Nintendo, I kind of I don't know, I feel indifferent about it. Like on one hand, I'm like, okay, yeah, the Switch is doing well, fine, that's all fine and dandy. You know, with all the faults that the Switch has, I mean, at least it's selling. Like, fine, whatever. Right. But it's like when you compare it to the Wii U, right? Like I don't know what it is with Nintendo, but they're comparing themselves to themselves, right? And it's like I was an early adopter for the Wii U, so like I feel some kind of way when, you know, the Switch is getting all these sales, but then like half of the library is Wii U games.
They're games that you already have.
It's games that I already have, and they're selling them for full price. So it's like I don't know, man. I feel like Nintendo really just stomped on their fan base when it came to the Wii U. It came out, you know, it didn't sell, it flopped, and then they just threw it to the freaking wind, man.
Right, and that's my thing. Again, that consumer hostility is like, okay, we messed up here, but we can recoup the money by easily porting all of these Wii U games that we couldn't sell to our new system that's selling like hotcakes. And their feeling is, if you look at it, they've already got install base 1 million, so they have at least 1 million people more right now that didn't have a Wii U. That's 1 million people that didn't have Mario Kart 8 or Splatoon or the Donkey Kong game.
Yeah.
So I mean, that's 1 million people that didn't have that, and if you look at it, I mean, that's $60 million if they all bought it, or even if a portion of them bought it, that's a lot of money coming in, and that's what they're looking at. They really don't. They're like, they'll tell you, oh, we're making a good deal for our fans, and our fans didn't get to play these games. Like, no, we spent a lot of money developing this game, and we're trying to recoup it back.
Yeah, we're trying to recoup it back, and I don't know. I feel that. I feel like, yeah, they're trying to get that money back because they didn't make it on the Wii U, and it's crazy because I bought all of these games on the Wii U. Like I was a Wii U player. I played my Wii U a lot,
and and there's nothing. If you took it to GameStop, you'd be lucky to get $5 for it.
Yeah, no, I'm not selling it. I'll never sell it.
It's absurd. I mean, like you said, I mean, at least you still have your Wii U, and if you wanted to play them, you can still play them. But for those people that don't have their Wii U, or you know, they got rid of it, they doesn't work, or whatever reason they don't have it anymore. Maybe they traded it in to get the Switch. Now they're stuck with having to get these games they already had before.
Right. Yeah, because like when a lot of people you know, moved over from Mario Kart 8 to 8 Deluxe, I wasn't gonna buy it. I was like, yeah, I'm not buying it. It was actually donated to me. Somebody gave it to me. So that's the only reason I even have that game. And then Splatoon 2 has felt more like Splatoon 1.5 in my opinion. They haven't added anything truly substantial besides like the salmon run mode. And that's pretty much it, man. I don't know. It seems like, in my opinion, the Switch is only a quarter of a step in the right direction. Like they haven't even taken a full leap in the right direction yet. There's too many like underlying issues with the Switch to make it, you know, a tried and true, like, yeah, this is a better console to me.
Right.
Like it hasn't gotten there yet.
Yeah, like I said, the Switch has its place. I just can't. I mean, outside of Mario versus Rabbids, which I finally did finish, there's no game on there that I want to play. I mean, I've got Mario Kart 8, meh, Splatoon 2. No reason Mario Kart's there is because of my 7-year-old.
Right.
Splatoon 2 is meh. Mario Odyssey, I got that for my 7-year-old, but I played it in meh. I mean, and that's just my opinion. I mean,
Yeah.
none of these games are anything that are interesting to me, and I haven't seen anything that is really interesting to me. And I'm not going to buy any multi-plats on the Switch,
No.
especially when I have the 4K versions of the PlayStation and the Xbox.
Yeah. You have the best versions of those consoles. Why would you buy the most inferior version of the game coming?
Right, exactly. I mean, I guess you can make an argument so I can take it with me, but then I can't play online because the Nintendo Switch doesn't have a cell antenna. I would have to pair it to my phone and go all through all that.
Yeah, or go to Panera Bread and use the Wi-Fi.
Right. So I mean, yeah, it is what it is. I mean, it's. I'm not going to sit here and say the Switch is a bad system. It is a very good system.
No, I'm saying that they're taking steps in the right direction.
Mm-hmm.
Is that they haven't taken that many steps. It's like it's not the like PlayStation 1 to the PlayStation 2. You know, that was like leaps and bounds.
Or 2 to 3, or any of the
or any of them.
Yeah, all of the PlayStation iterations were significantly better than the previous one.
Right, and if you want to talk about like let's say like failed consoles, like this isn't even like Saturn to Dreamcast in my opinion. I felt like the Dreamcast was leaps and bounds better than the Saturn. The Switch is not leaps and bounds better than the Wii U, in my opinion.
I will have to take your stance, because I didn't get a Wii U, and there was no chance on this green Earth, or red Mars, or anywhere else in this solar system I was bringing one of those things into my house at all. Not with my money. It's no chance.
Yeah, no, I was down for Nintendo at the time, so yeah, and I'm no longer a sheep. I've been set free. We have one more Nintendo story before we move on to the next one. Let's go ahead and tackle that one real quick. And they recently, and by they I mean Nintendo, made an announcement that Mario Kart will be coming to mobile as an attempt to, put more games on iOS and Android devices. The game in question is called, or it will be called, Mario Kart Tour, and I feel like it's going to be a tour of a real game and not like a fully fledged, Mario Kart. I don't know. I'm not sure what they plan on doing.
So Nintendo's been releasing their mobile games. They did Fire Emblem Heroes. They did a Fire Emblem. They did the Super Mario Run.
Had
and
the Animal Crossing.
Animal Crossing something. It's Animal Crossing something.
I don't know.
They did just release the Animal Crossing game. Pocket Camp. Animal Crossing Pocket Camp.
Okay.
So I mean, Animal Crossing Pocket Camp and the Fire Emblem game, people have really liked it. Those are both like free to play with microtransactions. People are really taken to those games. Mario Run, people didn't take too much, and that's mainly because it came out at $10.
Yeah.
So I mean, if they come out with a $10,
it came out as free.
Yeah,
and then if you wanted the full game, it was $10.
Right. But I mean, to be quite honest, for $10, it's actually a pretty good game. It's not a horrible game. It looks good. It plays well. I have it. I have no problems with it. I'm not upset that I paid $10 for it. I think I got $10 worth out of it, more than. So yeah, I don't. Their plan is definitely to come into mobile. Mario was their attempt at doing a premium game. That didn't quite work out, but the way Fire Emblem and Animal Crossing has worked out, I think it makes sense for them to push more of their IPs to mobile.
Yeah, and they have plenty to go around. So Mario Kart is next up on the chopping block. We'll see how well it does. It's not going to be releasing until the end of March 2019.
Yeah, it says the end of this fiscal year, which it ends. It says before the end of the
before the end, so it'll be before March 2019. Yep. So I'm getting, it's probably like early 2019 is when we'll get it.
I'm guessing around holiday season.
You think holiday season?
Yeah, that's when they released Mario Run.
Yeah, you might be right.
And that's when they released Animal Crossing. Animal Crossing came out around the holiday season too.
Yeah, you know what? It actually makes sense because everybody's going to be sitting at their grandma's house, just like, chilling, not doing too much, waiting for dinner to be getting ready.
Right.
So it'll be the perfect time to pop open your freaking Android or iOS.
Kids out of school.
Yep. Yeah, you know what? You might be right. You might be onto something. But yeah, we'll have to see what it looks like, exactly what form it's going to take. Right. There's a lot of like quirky little racing games on mobile, One that comes to mind for me is this one based around Sonic Forces, where you take the characters and it's kind of like an endless runner. It's like an endless runner, but you're playing with multiple people. That's cool. So that's one of the racing style games that they've come up with. We'll have to see. I'm actually curious.
As long as they don't give me controls on the screen, I will give it a try. When you get controls on the screen, I'm done.
Yeah, it's on screen buttons. Yeah, that's not my jam when it comes to mobile gaming. I can't do it. Yeah. I need to feel the button press.
Yes,
I can't do that on a touch screen. But yeah, that's all of our Nintendo news. Let us know what you guys think. On all the stories that we talked about dealing with Nintendo. Are you excited about Mario Kart coming to mobile? Are you anticipating having to pay for Switch Online? Are you going to be taking anybody to see the Mario movie when it comes out? Let us know what you guys think down in the comment section below. And with that, we can go ahead and move on to the next story. And this time we are talking about EA. Because they made the list.
They made the top 5.
They made the top 5.
Number 5, exactly.
Yep.
EA. Specifically. But I don't know if this is a top 5 list they want to be on.
No, definitely not.
EA is currently the 5th most hated company in the United States.
Yeah.
And to put that in perspective, they beat out United Airlines, who beats up their passengers.
Yeah, they beat the hell out of people. they actually put hands on you, yes. And EA is worse than them.
They beat out Wells Fargo, who got in trouble with regulators for opening bank accounts and charging people fees without their permission. They beat out Comcast,
who's always just terrible.
Yep, they beat out Monsanto, who everybody hates because Monsanto sells genetically enhanced seeds that will only work with their genetically enhanced fertilizer, that only works with their genetically enhanced soil.
Jeez.
So Monsanto, and I mean CenturyLink, Facebook,
Uber,
the Weinstein Company, who's we know about.
Yeah, we know. We already know Harvey Weinstein.
Yeah, I mean, if you look at the list of companies that they beat out, I mean, it's wow. And they are the only company on that list. They're the only gaming-related company on that list, I should say. There's no Microsoft, no Sony, no Ubisoft, no Activision.
Oh.
Just EA, like the 5th most. Everybody hates EA. And if it's from their mad monopoly, to their horrible microtransactions being forced, to the fact that they closed down studios. I mean, they've been buying up studios and closing them down.
Yeah.
Just people, we don't like you, EA.
Nope,
we don't like you.
Don't like you. Yeah, and they were on the cusp of taking the NFL, who was number 3. That's crazy.
Yeah,
number 3.
Yeah, that's because NFL is getting it from both sides, right? You got the people that's protesting, because they're upset about the Colin Kaepernick situation, and then you got the Trumpers that's like, you're disrespecting America by.
Damn, Sprint's on there twice. Their airlines and like just the regular company. That's funny.
What? But what's on there twice?
Yeah, Sprint and Sprint Airlines.
No, that's Spirit Airlines.
Oh, Spirit. Oh, I can't read. I thought it said Sprint. It was a yellow. It was a yellow plane. I was like, I didn't know Sprint had planes. That's pretty funny. But yeah, man. One of the top 5 hated companies. I mean, and for good reason, man. They have had. If anybody's had a bad year, it's been EA, and it's been their own fault, because they tried to implement some super predatory practices, and nobody was about to have that, man.
I'm feeling it. No.
Yeah, like you got to think about who the main the target age of gamers, like the average age of a gamer. It's about our age, man.
Yeah, in their 30s, like 35 or something, 35 or 36.
Yeah, ain't no grown man about to be swindled by no video game. Get out of here.
Exactly, and like I said, the microtransactions, the horrific release and shutdown of Mass Effect Andromeda.
Yeah.
The fact that they own football for video games and they just release the same game essentially every year. I mean, it's a lot to not like with EA.
Yeah.
And that's why I'm quite worried about Anthem even.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, EA just don't do it. They don't get it. They don't care.
They don't get it, and then like their executives, they don't get it either with some of the statements that they've made.
Yep, exactly.
It's like with everything that's going on, you want to come out and you want to say that? Okay, bro, sure. Sure thing.
Cool story, bro.
Yeah. But yeah, EA making the top 5 worst companies in America, not surprising.
No,
because they've done things to get themselves there.
They is not undeserved.
No, not definitely
not undeserved.
And speaking of things that are not deserved, our next story deals with Bungie, because they are actually putting in the conscious effort to bring back their player base when it comes to Destiny 2. So Boogie, you're the Destiny 2 guy, so I'm gonna let you go ahead and take this one. What we got?
Okay, so a couple was it this past week or the week before? Wait, this past week, yeah, it had to be this past week because we're doing the news, right? This past week, Bungie released the Destiny 2 development roadmap, and they basically outlined their next 3 or their most recent 4 patches. I mean, the next 3 that's upcoming and one that was just recently deployed.
Okay.
And the community has, by and large, abandoned the game, to be quite honest. I mean, there's a lot less people playing.
Yeah.
The PvP game modes are hard to find matches.
Yeah.
If you want to try to find people to raid, it's hard to find people to raid. There
was actually news. I mean, a lot of people that I follow were talking about the fact that a lot of Destiny content creators are moving on to other games just because it is not a game that they want to make content for.
Right. Well, it's
like
not
YouTube channels and Twitch streamers that made a like a living or career off of creating content. They're stepping aside.
Well, not necessarily that they're stepping aside. It's just that they're making Destiny 2 content, and since there's so little interest in the game,
that's what I'm saying.
They're not getting the views, right? So there are a couple of them kind of rebutted, like, "Oh, they hate Destiny 2." It's not that they hate it; it's just like you said, they can't make money doing it anymore because people it's not. People just don't watch it. I mean, it's just no point to. So I mean, some of the things they're bringing back. Some of them are stuff that should have been in the game to start with. For instance, public text chat in PC. Really? How you have an MMO in PC and no public text chat? And
that's terrible.
It's opt-in, which is great. They're bringing back unique rewards for Nightfall strikes, which is something they had in last generation. Now they're bringing that back. They're changing the Nightfall system because everybody hates that. It's currently on a time system. They're changing it to a scoring system. So you score points based on how fast you move, how many kills you get, and the type of kills. Like you get more points for melee kills, more points for precision kills and stuff like that. And that's going to help determine your reward. They're going to reduce repeat drops. They added modifiers to heroic strikes, which is something they should have had in the beginning. They're bringing back private matches, which is something that was like one of the biggest things the community asked for last generation. Everybody wanted private matches, and they put it in, and then they took it out at the release list. It didn't make any sense. They're bringing back 6-on-6 mode. They're going to add multi-emotes, so you can get emotes. One of the big things in the microtransactions are these emotes, but you only can equip one at a time, and there's like tons and tons of them, and some really good ones. But you only can equip one at a time. So now they're going to add multi emotes, and there's a bunch of other stuff that they're adding, mod system improvements and stuff. But none of this stuff is going to require you to have any of the DLC. It's going to be free to all.
Okay.
But in my opinion, it's stuff that should have been. This isn't stuff they should be adding now. It should have
been This is stuff that should have been in the game. A lot of these features and the way that a lot of things worked were how they worked in the original game.
Right.
So it's like instead of creating like new and compelling content for Destiny 2, they're just backpedaling and making the game more like its predecessor.
Right.
Go ahead.
Yeah, and I think it can be a little too late. Like I was saying, I mean, there's entire clans that were active 50, 60, hundreds of players, where it's only like a handful of players that are active in the clans anymore.
Yeah.
I mean, you see that a lot in the message boards, and it's just people just walked away, and it's not like there's not other stuff to do. I mean, there's hundreds of other games out there to play.
Yeah,
Hundreds
exactly.
more compelling games, and I think it's to the point. Once you miss that boat in the gaming community, you're not going to catch it. And I think Bungie might have missed that boat.
Yeah, I mean, from what I'm seeing right now with Destiny 2, it looks like it's going to be something similar to a No Man's Sky situation, where they will go back, they will retroactively fix a lot of the issues, but a lot of the core players, they're going to move on to something else. So Destiny 2 will most likely become a game that will see success later on down the line, like maybe with some future DLC, maybe a little bit down the line, but from launch till whenever, Destiny is just been plagued with too many controversy, and this roadmap that they have is going to take the better part of this year for them to implement completely.
Right, and up until May, so
yeah,
we're looking about halfway through the year, and like I said, I don't think what they're doing is great. I don't think it's enough. It's enough to bring a lot of the people that left back. People don't. We did this, okay, but still, I don't care about Destiny. They're gonna need to. What they're gonna have to do. They have new DLC that's coming out sometime soon, this March, I think. May, I think, is actually when the DLC comes out. It's the second pack of the season pass. Aside from that, if that doesn't hit, if that doesn't drum up enough talk for people to come back, their next rollout will be this coming September. They're gonna have to come like with something serious to bring people back.
Yeah.
Because if they come up with this DLC and it doesn't bring anybody back, and then it comes September, is not anything that's compelling enough. No matter how much they fix the game, people aren't going to play it.
Yeah, and I don't know. You might just have like the super hardcore, being the only ones that are going to continue to play. Because every game has its hardcore audience. Right. You have some people that throughout all the controversy, stayed playing the game. They didn't mind or didn't care about any of the other stuff that was going on. They just wanted to play the game, and you'll have those. Mm-hmm. I think for a little while, Bungie is just going to be catering to those guys, because if they want, they're not going to be able to bring anybody back in unless they come out with something like amazing.
And that's the problem.
Yeah.
What they did with Destiny 2, and is very obvious, is they cater to the casual players, the people that might log in once or twice a week and play the game. They catered to them, and they forgot about the people that log in every
single
and play
day,
2 to 3 hours a day, because they want to farm this specific weapon, or the Crucible was actually enjoyable, or they wanted to go back and do the raids because the raids were fun, and you had that camaraderie. And this game has none of that. Right. One, if you do PvP, you only can play with 4 people, where before I can play with 6, so I can get 5 of my clannies, and we'll all play, shoot the shit, play some Crucible. Now I only can get 3 of them.
Yeah.
It's just a lot of small things like that just added up and made the community furious, and it made them not want to play the game anymore. And on top of that, it's just not as fun as it used to be.
Yeah. Yeah, so we'll see what happens. Hopefully they can save face before they have to start thinking about a Destiny 3. Because they definitely they wet the bed on this one.
They definitely wet the bed on this one.
They wet the bed on this one.
That is absolutely correct.
All right, so we have one more story in our top 5 news stories for this week. So let's go ahead and jump into that. We're going to be talking about Sea of Thieves, because the beta number 1 just went live. A lot of people were playing it. A lot of people have already put out their first impressions on it. I was not invited to play the game, so I'm a little salty on that note. But there was some news to come out about it, so let's go ahead and talk about it.
Yeah, so Sea of Thieves was an open beta this past weekend, and it wound up being one of, if not the top, it was the top streaming game on Twitch, with 330,000 players around. I think it peaked at, the exact number is 332,052 players streamed Sea of Thieves at some point during the open beta. I mean, that's a lot of interest. And again, the open beta was invite only.
Yeah.
It wasn't. I mean, not. I'm sorry. I keep saying open beta. The closed beta was invite only. It wasn't something available to everybody. So you got 300 unique players streaming this game, and I watched a couple of. We talked about this game. We've talked about it quite a bit, and I had a little interest, nothing like outrageous, but I watched a couple of the streams, and the game actually looks really fun. It looks really fun, and it's pretty.
Yeah, it looks fun. It looks like quirky, funny. It looks like it's gonna have that classic Rare Studios humor in it. So that's one of the reasons that I'm looking forward to it. But it ultimately it looks like a game that you're gonna just be able to jump in with your friends and just have a good time.
And have a good time. Yep, and that's what I like about. I like games like that where it's not super serious. Like when game we just talking about Destiny. When you get in and you want to do a raid, I mean you can shoot the shit, but at some point you guys got to be serious and have your stuff together. This game is like I can jump in, play around, have some fun, do some quests, find some loot, and it looks super fun. It looks like it could be a lot of fun.
Yeah, I actually didn't get a chance to check out the streams. I'll have to go check out some VODs a little later. But yeah, see, as soon when it was announced that Rare was not making Connect games anymore, I was like, okay, I'm in. Pretty much. I mean, Rare, they've been on a downward spiral as far as their games. And it hasn't really been their fault. I want to say that it wasn't really their fault, because
the direction Microsoft put them in.
Yeah, so I feel like this is good. Microsoft allowing them to actually like branch out and do something new, something unique. And I'm all about new IPs. This looks like it could be super fun. So once if they announce an open beta, I'll definitely try that out as well. But yeah, man, for it to be the #1 viewed game on Twitch, that's what's up.
Yeah, I mean they got all kinds of numbers. Average 104,000 viewers, 14 million hours watched total. I mean big numbers. I mean the game comes out on 20th of March. Around that time, I'm going to be subscribing to Microsoft's Game Pass. Because I'm going to be able to play this. And if I don't like it,
you know what? I think a lot of people are going to be doing that.
Yeah, I mean,
$10 for Sea of Thieves, dude.
Right, and if you're not sure what we're talking about, last week, right, or the week before, Microsoft announced that their new release, first-party exclusive games, will be added to their Game Pass service at launch. And the service is $10 a month. It's not going to be. I mean, they have hundreds of games on there. Some Xbox 360, some Xbox One. It's like a $10 a month service, monthly fee, but you get to play all these games as much as you want.
Yeah, and so that will be how I get Sea of Thieves.
Sea of Thieves, Crackdown 3, and what's the third game?
State of Decay 2.
State of Decay 2.
Yep. Yeah, so I can't wait for it because I'm definitely gonna have it for $10.
Again, I talked about this number before. If I kept it for the whole year, it's $120. If I bought all 3 of those games, it's $180. Do the math.
Do the math.
As long as they come out with more than 2 games a year, it's
paying for itself. So yeah, Sea of Thieves. What's the release date again?
March 20th.
March 20th. Yeah, I will partake.
It's 6 weeks.
All right, so that was our top 5 news stories. Let us know what you guys think on this story or any of the stories that we've been discussing today. It's our job to bring you the news and bring you our opinions, and so we want to know your thoughts. So leave your thoughts down in the comment section below. Whether you're watching this on YouTube, you're watching on Facebook, you're watching, on Twitch, or you're listening to us on your favorite podcasting app. Let us know what you think about these stories, because we definitely like to go back and forth with you guys in the comment section. So leave us some comments. Give us something to talk to you guys about. And with that said, we can move on to the next topic. And this is a reoccurring topic that we do on the show, and it's called This Week in Loot Boxes. And wow, I honestly can say that I never thought I would see the day, but it looks like EA wants to, is seriously planning on bringing back microtransactions to Star Wars Battlefront 2.
It's something that they always said they would do.
Yeah, it's something that they said they would do, but I didn't know if they would have the freaking balls to actually do it.
That's why they're the fifth most hated company in America, right?
Yeah,
because of stuff like this.
They didn't get it for no reason.
No.
Yeah, but let's go ahead and get into the story. What was stated?
So the CFO, Blake Jorgensen, is confirmed. He said it's coming back.
Yeah.
In the next few months. He said that they're going to come back when they think the time is right, whatever that means. He didn't mention anything as far as any changes to loot boxes. We don't know if it's going to be the exact same thing, if it's not going to be tied to progression as much. Nobody knows any of that stuff. All we do know is that they're bringing it back. I mean, and one of the things that happened is, one, when back in October, when they announced that they weren't going to be, they were taking the loot boxes out, their stock took a hit.
Yep.
When they announced their numbers this for this quarter, they did that this past week, and they announced that Star Wars Battlefront 2 sales were lower than expected, and they blamed the loot box debacle, which rightly so. I mean, I didn't buy it because of the loot box.
I didn't buy it because I didn't want to play it. I didn't even consider it because of the loot box debacle.
Yeah, I played the first one. I enjoyed it enough to be very interested in the second one. But once I saw what they're doing with loot boxes, it was no go. I didn't think about it. I didn't make a second thought.
Yeah.
And so their stocks took a hit because of that. And now, as soon as they announced they're going to be bringing it back, of course, their stocks rise a bit. So the investors are super excited. And that's, at the end of the day, that's what EA is looking to impress. That's who they want to make happy, are their investors.
Right.
And if turning the screws to their fan base is part of that process, well, make sure you're wearing that metal suit, because you're going to get some screws turned into you.
Yeah,
that's for sure.
I mean, I am glad that I didn't invest in Star Wars Battlefront 2, because it's. I mean, they didn't even fix the progression system after they removed the microtransactions. That was one of the worst parts about what they did, is because the game was built around microtransactions, and they abruptly just took them out, right before the game launched.
They did push an update that shortened some of the lead on the progression. So, like, instead of 40 hours, it's like 20 hours or something like that.
Yeah,
but
I mean,
it's still the same. The progression is still the same, and it's still long.
Yeah, it's still the same, and without microtransactions, it definitely makes that trudge even tougher.
Right.
But I don't know, man. They haven't really implemented any drastic changes to the overall game, so it looks like the microtransactions
is going to come back as it is.
As it was in the open beta right before the game launched. I think we're going to get the early access build.
Right. And I think what they're thinking, I believe their thinking is that, well, we've got our base community that's going to play this game regardless. They're going to want these characters. Maybe they haven't had time to unlock them. So let's allow them to buy the unlocks now, because they're invested, and now they want these characters, and it's going to be less of a controversy for the people that are playing this game right now. So
yeah, I mean. Bringing back microtransaction is one thing. Like, if they bring them back in the style of loot boxes, I think that is going to be a problem. If they just bring back microtransactions, like, oh, you can buy Darth Vader now, you can buy this, you can buy that, whatever. Because, while you still have to look out for the whales, it's not random. So you're not just jumping blindly into a purchase and not knowing what you're going to get. I will say that's better, but I honestly don't think that EA or the team behind, they don't deserve any of my money.
No,
they don't deserve my money, so I'm not gonna be spending any money on it, and I honestly don't think that anybody should, especially with the way that they tried to implement the microtransactions at the beginning, the way that they tried to implement them, the way that they tried to. Brush off the issue like it was nothing. It blew up in their face. They didn't have an explanation. Mickey Mouse came in and just hey, stop it.
Mm-hmm.
And now they're in this situation. I was really hoping that Mickey Mouse and the people over at Disney would have reconsidered their exclusivity deal as far as Star Wars and EA.
Yeah, that's still up in the air. I mean, they
Yeah,
depending on what the contract is, they may be able to pull it when they feel like it, or they may just have to. It may be one of those things like a next year or a couple of years later, be like, Star Wars Battlefront is being pulled from all of the online stores, and we'll know that their licensing deal is now gone.
yeah, yeah.
So
But there was a news story that kind of came. Well, it came out, and it was basically stating that they don't know. And by they I mean the people over at EA. They have no idea when production on Battlefront 3 is going to start.
right.
There was some talk, especially with the acquisition of Respawn
Mhm.
and how they are also working on a Star Wars game. It looks like after the next Battlefield game, it's going to be the Respawn game instead of Battlefront 3.
Instead of Dice, they have Respawn work on it because Dice and that's that's the rumor why they push Anthem back is because they got a Battlefield game coming out and they don't want Anthem to go up against it.
Right. So because like basically every year it would alternate. So
Right.
like previously we got the first Star Wars Battlefront, and then after that was Battlefield
Battlefield 1.
1, and then this year we
Battle,
got Battlefront 2.
so then
And
it's the new Battlefield, whatever that's going to be,
yeah,
and then yeah, go on from there.
and
I,
then
I
I'll go for there. So
I had Battlefield 1. I don't I don't like World War One. I don't like World War Two. Um, I World War Two. I'm just tired of. I mean, World
I
War
mean
Two has been
that one
done,
was that's been done to death. If
done to death.
you
Yeah.
if you had the previous generation of consoles, that's been done a million times.
World War One. The game is a great game. I just don't like the weapon set. I don't like the slow pace. I just don't like. I didn't like it. So I'll be interested because we haven't heard anything. I guess we're
No,
here about it at E3, but we haven't heard anything about any Battlefield game at all.
yeah. Well, according to this industry insider, that's supposedly the well. I mean, if you want to like believe in um like cycles or whatever, that was the previous cycle. They had Battlefield 1 year, Battlefront the next year, and it doesn't look like that's going to be the case going forward. So, but all in all, EA man, they wet the bed on this one.
Well,
They started a freaking shitstorm that is not gonna calm down
anytime soon.
anytime soon.
And the problem is the industry peers are looking at them like, look, you mess it up for all of us because now we all got to worry about how we make this implementation because you put the microscope on us. I mean,
Right.
it's so bad that there's lawmakers looking at it. I mean, we talked about a story last week where Washington State is gonna do research to see how this is in pertaining to their gambling laws, and we
Right.
got a the congressman out in Hawaii looking to craft laws and studies, and so I mean they really screwed it up, not just for themselves but for pretty much everybody else
And you
that were
know
looking
what?
at boxes.
And you know what? I actually saw an ad. It was for a mobile game during the Super Bowl, and there was this terminology that was used that I did not like because it was a free to play game, but then they also used this term called fair to play. And I was like, I've
What the hell
never,
is that? Fair to
yeah,
play.
I've never heard that term
Mhm.
um, uh, used before. It's one of those like Clash of Clans or whatever those type of games are where, you have two opposing teams and, you can use the microtransactions to like boost your castle or whatever.
Right.
And the term that they used was fair to play. And I was like, could that term be a response to what's going on right now? It's like, oh
Boxes.
yeah, we have microtransactions, we have loot boxes, but
They're fair.
the game is fair to play. And I was like, y'all
Mm.
some sneaky mugs, man, sneaky mug.
Marketers, the
Yeah, dude.
marketers, man, they're the worst people.
Yeah, they're the worst. Yeah, I caught that and I wanted to make sure that I brought that up. So don't be surprised if you start seeing free to play, fair to play, because that I saw it during the Super Bowl and I was like, yeah, that's a direct response to what's going on in the
Yeah,
industry right now.
yeah.
But yeah, let us know what you guys think about EA bringing back microtransactions. Are they going to bring them back in the same way that they were before, unchanged? Or do you think that it's going to be something a little bit more similar, a little bit more straightforward? Let us know what you think down in the comments section. And let's go ahead and move on to the long form discussion. This is the part of the show where we take one topic and we do a super deep dive into it. And this week we're talking about what are we talking about?
We're gonna revisit the online services, just because we have a new entry into the market here.
Yep.
So we've talked about PlayStation Plus versus Xbox Live and Nintendo's non-existent service, but now Nintendo does have a service, at least coming up in September. Figure we just go back down the list and just go pros and cons, and put a value on it. See, is it worth your money?
Yeah.
And so just looking at all three of them, we look at PlayStation Plus. It's $60 a year, or you can go $25 for 3 months or $10 per month.
Mm-hmm.
Xbox Live is the same thing, except Xbox Live adds a 6-month option for $40, $39.99.
Okay.
And Switch is $3.99 for a month, $7.99 for 3 months, $20 for the year, $19.99 for the year.
Yeah.
They all offer free games. With PlayStation, you get 2 PlayStation 4 games, 2 PS3 games, 2 Vita games.
That could possibly, depending on the game, could be cross-buy on PlayStation 4.
Right. So the Vita games do have the ability to be cross-buy depending on the title. If it's a cross-buy title, you can play it on the PlayStation 4, so that can get you up to 4 games. And lately, PlayStation has been given add-on packs for free-to-play games, and they've had a VR title available as well if you're a PSVR player.
Yeah. So if you're only a PS4 player, you've had anywhere from 5 to 7 games per month that you can play.
With Xbox Live, you get 4 games every month, regardless. So Xbox Live, you get 2 Xbox One games, and you get 2 Xbox 360 games. Because Xbox has backwards compatibility. Every game since they've implemented that program, every 360 game has been a backwards compatible game, so it's playable on your Xbox One.
Yes.
With the difference between PlayStation, let me add the last one, and Nintendo Switch, we talked about this earlier in the show,
yeah.
You get 1 game rental. I'm going to call it a rental because the game comes out in a month,
yeah,
and you get to play it for that month, and when the next game comes out the following month, you can no longer play that game you played before. Whereas with Xbox Live and PlayStation 4, as long as you keep your PlayStation Plus subscription, you can play that game forever. With Xbox Live, you get to play the game whether you keep the subscription or not. Now, with the PlayStation Plus, if you do let your subscription lapse, like I have, and you pick it up a month or 2 later, all those previous games you got for PlayStation Plus, you'll be able to play them again.
Yep.
So you can let it lapse for a month, 2 months, 3 months. Maybe you're going out of town. Maybe you're like me and you just haven't been playing PlayStation and don't feel like you let it lapse. But once you re-up the service, you get to play the game again. I think, to be honest, we've said this before. I think Xbox Live is the best value.
Yeah.
Mainly because you're guaranteed 4 games. You get to keep the games if you don't have a subscription. That's where I think the big value comes in, is that if I let my Xbox Live subscription lapse, all the previous games I got on Xbox Live Gold are still mine. I can still play them.
One thing that I like, and this is in addition to their backwards compatibility program, is like, let's say a game comes out, because they upgrade the list, like, pretty often, of games that are backwards compatible. So like, even if I didn't have a 360 and I still had all my games, there's no telling when my game will just become backwards compatible. And it's not always in conjunction with the games with gold. Sometimes they'll just release like, oh, this game is backwards compatible now. And so that means that I could just take my 360 disc, put it in my Xbox One, and then bam, I'm playing a 360 game.
Mm-hmm.
And it appears that if the games are still running their online servers, that you can play online.
Play online, and also if you have cloud saves, you can get those back as well.
Right, and you can also use your cloud saves. So that's a big plus in my opinion too.
And then one thing, and I couldn't figure it out for the PlayStation Plus, but I know on Xbox Live you can share your Xbox Live with Gold with family members. So if you put like a child account underneath your Gold account, they can have Gold. They can go online as well.
Yeah.
They have to use your console, whatever your home console is. But if you have like a child, even your brother, if he comes to your house and you put him under your account, as long as he logs into your console that's your main console, he can go online and play Gold too.
I'm not sure about PlayStation, but I remember when they implemented that, because I've been paying for Xbox Live since the OG Xbox, back with Halo 2. And I've had mine ever since. And, my girlfriend, she has a profile on the Xbox One that we have. And so she has Xbox Live. She has Live. She can go online.
Yep.
She can, play she can download games, like all of that.
And I have to believe with the PlayStation, it's the same type of thing. I'm not sure how many. I know Xbox caps it at 4. The reason I say that is because the PlayStation has the same game sharing feature where you can share games. And when you have that game sharing feature, I'm sure it includes services. So I will go out on a limb to say that they do, but I haven't seen any text on it, and I haven't tried it out to verify.
Yeah, I'm using Game Share on PlayStation 4, but I do not have like a secondary account on here. I'll give it a shot and see if anything happens. But I don't know. I want to say no. But it's very possible that it is. I just haven't tried it out.
And then with Nintendo Switch, there's no sharing at all.
Nope. Doesn't matter if the game is digital or anything.
Yeah, there's no sharing. Now, I can log into, so we have 2 Switches here. I have one, my daughter has one. I can log into her console and I can play the games on using my profile, but I have to be on her console. And you can't be logged in more than one place at a time. So if I've logged into her console, I have to be logged out of mine, and vice versa. But as far as I can tell, there's no sharing of anything on the Switch. There's no game sharing, and I'm pretty sure there's not going to be any online sharing. It looks like the way what Nintendo did was they locked your account, and all of the content is locked to the console, and not to, like, where on Xbox and PlayStation, the content is actually attached to your profile. So if I go and get another PlayStation, I log in, I download all my games, I'm good to go. With Nintendo Switch, there's even on their fact, if you get a new Nintendo Switch console and you want your old stuff, you have to call into them and have them deactivate your console and switch it and do all of this rigmarole.
What the hell?
Oh yeah, you didn't read that? I read that because I was buying a second one for my daughter. I wanted to know if I can transfer Mario Kart to her.
Right.
And you can't. If I wanted it on that console, I have to deactivate my console and make that new console my console. And if I went back to my old console, I have to do the same thing, but all of my content goes with me. It's attached to the console. So there's no sharing of any kind that I can tell on Nintendo Switch. The only sharing is if I take out the cart and hand it back and forth. That's the only sharing. There's no digital sharing, I should say.
Right. And so, like, you're going to be paying. Well, just as an example, in September, when the online service comes through, are you going to have to pay $20 each console?
I believe that's how it's going to work.
Oh, hell no.
That seems to be the way they have it set up. All of the content is attached to the console as opposed to your profile, like every other gaming system. And for Steam, I can go to any computer in the world and log on, and I have access to all my games.
Right.
Xbox Live, same thing. PlayStation Network, same thing. I can take my Xbox Live account, I go down to Atlanta, go hang out with my brother, I log in, download my games, I'm good to go.
Right.
There's no such thing on the Switch.
Wow. That's terrible.
Yeah, it's locked to the console, and that's part of the reason why there's no game sharing, because it's the way they have the DRM set up. It's attached to the console. So I mean, it's almost like the cell phone. It's just like the cell phone. Well, no, cell phone is the same way. Because if I took my Apple ID or my Google ID,
your Google ID or your Samsung ID, like all your stuff goes with you.
Yeah, Apple's a bit of a hybrid because it locks down your hardware to your account. You have to release the phone.
Okay.
But even so, when I take my Apple ID to a new phone, all my stuff I had before comes with me. Yeah. I just have to release the phone so somebody else can use it if it's being resold or whatever.
Right.
But the Nintendo Switch is locked. All the content is a lot attached to the console.
Oh man, yeah. So like, where's the value? That's what I'm saying. Like where is the value in the Switch online service? Because the value isn't playing online with friends. Like that's not valuable when it comes to the Nintendo Switch.
Right.
Because it's free right now.
Yeah, it's free right now, and then playing with friends is so convoluted to chat with them.
You can't chat, you can't message, you can't do anything.
None of that stuff. Yeah, it's just a mess. I don't. And
you can't invite somebody into your game. Like if I'm playing Splatoon and somebody else is playing Mario Kart, there's no way for me to communicate with that person. Hey, get on Splatoon. Like they get a notification if they have their notifications on that I'm on Splatoon.
As you're playing, Trenell. Yeah, I see that True Sonic is it'll just say True Sonic is online or True
Sonic's on Splatoon. It'll say like on Splatoon or on Mario Kart or whatever. Right. So you can see what I'm playing, but there's no way for you to like communicate, hey, I want you to stop playing your game and play this game with me. Jump into my party, let's play some Splatoon. Like there's no way to do that.
There's no integrated online system. I mean, again, I think Microsoft wins out with how their online is integrated with the dashboard in the game, how easy it is to invite people to parties, invite people to games, start streaming games if that's what you want to do,
co-streaming games.
I mean, you can invite people to co-stream. Sony is very good at actually sharing the content. Sony with the share button, they're very good at sharing the content. The party it's a little bit convoluted, but it still works well and is integrated for sure.
Yeah.
And the same thing with game invites. They've actually improved that with the what I think either this past update or the one before that, they improved the notifications for invites. So I mean, it's really good. I think Microsoft is the leader in that particular setup, but Sony is very good, is very close to it. It's not a bad experience, where Nintendo's experience is non-existent.
It's not even an experience. You turn on the console, you got a couple of boxes, you play your game, and that's it.
Right.
Like
Yeah. So I mean, when you look at these services again, I know I've said I'm a hater of Nintendo. I'm not a big fan of them. To be quite honest, I don't like their practices. I think they're hostile to the consumer. I don't like their practices. At the end of the day, Nintendo has great IPs. The Switch is a great system. I just don't like the way they seem to want to squeeze as much as they can out of the people that would consider themselves fans.
Yeah, because I mean, think about it. Everybody that did, like all of these people that are picking up Switches right now are either people that, like, I mean, you cannot tell me that you're picking up a Switch for it to be your main console. Like, I don't think that that's a thing.
No, unless you're a child and somebody's getting it for you as a Christmas gift or a gift.
But like,
if you're just a kid.
Right. Like, I think like if you're anywhere between, 16 to 35, if you have a Nintendo Switch, it is not your primary console. You either have an Xbox, a PlayStation, or you play on PC. So the people that are getting the Switch because they want to play Nintendo games.
Right.
They like the first party IPs. So when they come through with all of these like these weird implementations of like features or lack thereof, it's like it begs the question, what the heck is going on here? Like you want to charge me for online, but the only thing that I'm getting for the service is the ability to play with my friends, which is already it's already bare bones as it is. I can do it for free right now, and then you want to have me pay for it months later?
I think that definitely is. I can't see that going over. But like I said, Nintendo gets away with a lot of stuff that other companies wouldn't be able to get away with, and I see this going the same way. I think they're going to get away with it. I think people are going to be like, well, you pay for it for Microsoft and you pay for it for Sony, and this is cheaper, so blah blah blah.
I don't care how cheap it is, man. Like it's money coming out of my pocket every year or month or 3 months or whatever, and it's not worth it, dude. No, it is not worth it.
I wholeheartedly agree.
OG Xbox had a better online system than this. Hell, freaking PlayStation 2, when it came to certain games, had a better online system than this, because, you could at least talk with your teammates.
Right.
And like down the line, both Xbox and PlayStation have implemented, like a mobile app that enhances, or like it's a supplement to the actual online feature.
And it's not the online feature.
It is not an online feature.
Right. Exactly. And so, again, I cannot, in good conscience, tell anybody out there to pay for Switch online service.
Yeah, me neither, dude. I feel like a lot of people are just going to be forced to do it because they play Splatoon,
they want to play Splatoon,
and they play Mario Kart.
Yeah. Or even what's the fighting ARMS. Yeah. So I mean, if you want to play those online games, you're going to have to pay for it. It is, I think, is not of any value. I think $20 a month is a joke. I think it should be $1 a month, if anything. I think if you have a PlayStation
is it $20 a month or $20 a year?
$20 a year. No, $20 a year. Yeah, but I think it should be like $1 a month, or $1 a year, I should say. If you have a PlayStation or an Xbox, and you don't have the paid services, I think you're missing out, just because of all of the free games you're able to get with both of the systems.
Yeah.
Again, especially if you're one of the people that says, well, I'm on a budget, well, pay $60 a year, the price of one game, and you wind up with anywhere between 24 and 60 games that you're not paying anything extra for. So those services are definitely worth the $60 a year. As much as anybody might complain about it, I don't have a problem paying $60 a year when I'm getting the free games and I'm playing online, a robust online service that I'm able to share with other people in my family.
Yeah.
I don't have a problem with that. I have a problem paying $20 for something I get for free right now.
Yeah, no. So overall, if we were to rank the online services, definitely Xbox Live is at the top. And honestly, I think it's just because they've been doing it for so long. Xbox Live has, been a premier service for its entire existence. It was never free.
15, 20 years now. Like that.
Yeah, so it's been a premier service for quite some time, and they've been able to use that money to enhance the service over the years. I personally think that Xbox Live on the 360 had to be some of the most like cohesive, like fun with like a group of people that I've ever had. Like I've had like, the equivalent of like a LAN party online over Xbox Live, and like everybody is hype, everybody's having a great time. Man, I remember back on Xbox 360, you could watch Netflix
together
with your party and have them in your ear, and like you're watching a movie together, and like your avatars would sit in front of a screen. It was freaking awesome. I remember stuff like that. So, and there may be some personal bias. I didn't own a PlayStation 3, so I don't really know what the online service was like on there. Besides the fact that it was free, unless
pretty bad.
It was. But, I can say that they've come into, themselves on the PlayStation 4.
Yeah, the PlayStation come a long way. On the PlayStation 3, the online service was okay. It's just the party up thing. They didn't have parties. All the game chat was like in-game chat.
In-game chat, yeah.
Whatever game system, the developer had to set it up. So there was no party up system, and then when they started adding the party up system, it was clunky and hard to get together. Again, the PlayStation 4 is none of that. Is significantly better, and I think the PlayStation Plus is not far behind. I still think it's a little bit behind Microsoft, but Microsoft is ahead, and based on what you just said, they've just been doing it longer.
Yeah, they've just been doing it longer. They've been charging for it the entire time. It's been it's a premium service. That's why they call it Xbox Live Gold, and then they have the Silver. It's a premium service you pay for, and like, dude, like over the past few years, we've been getting, a lot out of it. You can't say that for early Xbox Live, because you were just essentially just paying for online. But
free games came from PlayStation. PlayStation threw that gauntlet down with PlayStation Plus.
But in this day and age, to come out with a console and say, hey, you're gonna have to pay for online, and that's all you're gonna get, Nah, cuz.
And you get to rent a game that's 20 or 30 years old. I mean, you can rent this game that's older than you for a month.
And how many real OG freaking Nintendo fanboys are not gonna have freaking like Super Mario and yes, like
Mario World.
come on, dude. Do they really think that we don't already own these games multiple times?
Exactly.
Multiple places. I have some of these games on my 3DS right now. Like I'm not hyped for NES and SNES games on my Switch. I'm not hyped for that.
No, I
especially when if I have it on my Wii U, there's no way for me to get it on my Switch.
Yeah,
and if I had it on my Wii, there was no way for me to get it on my Wii U without paying.
That's horrible. and even with Sony, even though you can't use it, maybe by some miracle you can in the future. If you have PS3 digital games, when you log into your PlayStation 4, you see those games. You just can't do anything with them.
Right.
And the same thing with Xbox. If you have old Xbox 360 games that's digital, when you log in, they're still on your profile.
They're on your profile. They're ready to be installed.
Like you said, if at any time a game that's there right now that you can't play becomes backwards compatible, it shows up ready to install. So, yeah. I mean, those two companies, Sony and Microsoft, allow you to take your stuff with you. When Nintendo just wants to sell you the same thing over and over and over again. Every generation, they want to sell you the same game.
Yeah.
And
yeah. Like, will the games even be available at a discounted price for the 1 month? Like, can I get Mario for $1 if it's the free game?
Well, the Nintendo Switch Online will get you some eShop deals, whatever that is. It doesn't specify what type of percentage off or anything that's going to be, but you will get eShop deals, whatever that is. I mean, maybe I get $5 off the $60 Mario Kart.
Yeah. Yeah, but all in all, yeah, like we were saying, like if I was gonna rate it, it would be Xbox Live, clearly spearheading. PlayStation Plus not far behind, and Nintendo Switch needs to remain free. With what they're offering, that needs to remain free.
I'll go a step farther. I agree with that rating, but I will also say if you have an Xbox and you have a PlayStation, these services are must have.
Yeah.
You should have these services, even if you don't plan on playing online, because again, you're getting free stuff.
Free games, discounts on DLC.
Yep. And if you have the Nintendo Switch, don't bother. Yeah, and not only free games, both systems on PlayStation and Xbox, they always have the deals. Mm-hmm. PlayStation Plus deals, you get 20, 30, 40, 50% off of games. Yep. Xbox Live deals with gold. I mean, I think that was last month. They were selling XCOM 2 for 60% off.
Ooh.
So I mean, you get good deals. It's worth having. Like I said, for Xbox and PlayStation, if you have either one or both of those systems, you should have the online service.
Yeah,
I'm subscribed to it because you get deals off of games and you get free games. Even if you never plan on playing 1 second of online play, the fact that the free games and the deals you get are well worth it.
Yeah, I agree with that. So that's going to end it for the long form. We want to know what you guys think, so make sure that you hit us up on our social media. We're on Twitter, we're on YouTube. You can also leave us comments down in the comment sections on YouTube, and also hit us up on Facebook, a weekly gaming news show. Just let us know what you guys think on these stories, all the stories that we spoke of today. So now let's go ahead and move on to the last segment. That's going to be our final thoughts. We usually, and I mentioned this earlier, whoa. It's time. It is time. It's time for me to say what I was going to say. No, we usually take questions and for our live Q&A section during a portion of the podcast. But since this one is being pre-recorded, we're not able to do that. We take questions from the live audience. But what you can do is you can leave us any questions that you want down in the comment section below, or you can use the hashtag AskAWGNS and post it to Twitter. We monitor the hashtag, so if you have any questions for us during this pre-recorded tape, we'll answer them next time. So if you have any questions, make sure that you use the hashtag AskAWGNS, and we'll make sure that we answer as many questions as possible during our next live show. But with that said, let's go ahead and jump into the final thoughts. We're just going to give our final 2 cents on some of the stories that we covered today. I'll go first this time. Not surprised at the delay of Red Dead Redemption 2. It seems like a lot of really high profile games are being delayed, mostly because of what's happening in the marketplace. What's happening in gaming right now. These guys need to be careful, because one slip up, one false move, and your game will end up like Battlefront or Destiny 2, and I don't think anybody wants that. So not surprised at the delay. I just hope that they come out with something that gamers can appreciate. Far Cry 5 Season Pass, definitely looking forward to that game. The girlfriend said she wants it, so she'll be picking that one up, and it's actually going to give her a chance to play one of my favorite Far Cries, which is 3. I think she's really going to like that. So that's actually a good deal. As far as the top 5 news stories, PlayStation Plus games, I'm going to get Rhine. I'm going to try that out. What was the other one?
Knack.
Oh, Knack. Yeah, I'll probably try Knack just because I'm a platform junkie. But overall, I think it's a pretty okay lineup of the PlayStation 4 games, at least. I don't know why PlayStation isn't, or Sony isn't, putting a lot of emphasis on these announcements anymore. I feel like, especially with this month, they should have promoted this a little better. We got the story from a Polygon article, and the source was just a post on the forums, or it was just a blog post with some pictures.
Well, so, it's normally on that blog post, the PlayStation blog, but normally they post it with a video.
With a video and graphics, and they're talking about it, boosting it. But this month that didn't happen, so it was something that just caught my eye. As far as the Nintendo news, looking forward to the Mario movie. I think it's going to be super entertaining, especially with people at Nintendo executives, executive producing it. I think that's going to be pretty interesting, and it's going to be loyal to the character, and that's the most important part. The online service, we talked about that enough. I'm not getting it, and I really feel like it's a bad deal if you get it as well. The Switch beating the Wii U lifetime sales. I mean, they gave up on the Wii U. Nintendo literally gave up on the Wii U, so I cannot be surprised that a console that they gave up on like 2 to 3 years in of its 5-year cycle is being beat out by a console that they are going hard in the paint on. It really feels like they're going hard. But as a Wii U owner, I feel some kind of way about it. But that's just me. Mario Kart coming to mobile. We'll have to see how it performs, how it plays, because I have no problem with playing a good mobile game, but I'm not about all of the mobile game gimmicks. I'm not about all that. Right. So we'll have to see exactly how it plays before we jump into that. EA making the top 5. I believe before this they were in the top 10.
This is not unusual for them.
Not unusual for them. They are a very hated company. Bungie trying to bring back Destiny 2 players. I mean, this is damage control on their end, and this is the game that they're going to have to play for quite some time. Hopefully it brings people back, but it might be a little too late. And the Sea of Thieves closed beta, I'm going to have to go back and watch some VODs. Hopefully some of the streamers that I watch on Twitch were able to get their hands on it. But I'm going to have to check it out. I got on YouTube today to catch up with the because I watched the 10 and 10, and all most of the videos on the side, the recommended videos were Sea of Thieves closed beta footage. So I'm gonna have to check some of that out. It's pretty abundant. There's a lot of it. And as far as the microtransactions coming back to Star Wars Battlefront, if they bring them back in the same way that they left them before, that means that these guys have learned absolutely nothing. I mean, in a way, it seems like they haven't learned much, because they're still going to bring back the microtransactions. But we'll have to see in what way, shape, and form they come back, to see like whether or not this company can actually be trusted to, have the money of the consumers. Like, do they deserve all the money and praise for these titles? Right. We'll have to see. Like, as it stands right now, EA can fuck off. But we'll have to see if they have any like the slightest bit of like sympathy or like anything for consumers. Like if they care for consumers at all, this upcoming return of microtransaction will be an indicator of that. And that's pretty much all I have to say about the stories that we talked about. What about you, Boogie?
We'll start with Red Dead Redemption 2, like you said, it doesn't surprise me. They're gonna polish it up. That's fine. I just hope that they avoid the pitfalls of Battlefield 2.
Yeah.
Battlefront 2, I should say. Far Cry 5 is something I'm really interested in. I'm interested in the story and the fact that Far Cry 3, you're not the only person that told me that's a great game, so it's something I wouldn't mind trying. Then also the PS Plus games for February. I'm not too excited about them. Rhyme I'll try if I decide to re-up my subscription. But it is what it is. The Mario movie for sure. Me and my daughter are gonna go see that. Switch Online service. Unless you have to play online, I would skip it. The Switch beating the Wii U. The Switch beating the Wii U in sales. I mean, the Wii U was a flop. I mean, it's Nintendo's every other year deal.
Yeah.
We got Mario Kart coming to mobile. I would give that a try. I thought Super Mario Run was done well, and I can imagine that they should do a good job for Mario Kart. EA being one of the most hated companies, not surprising. It's definitely deserved. Bungie's roadmap, I think it might be too little too late. Like I said, they're going to have to come out with something huge with either the next one or two DLCs. Maybe even take a bath and give the next DLC away for free. Something to get players back, because right now I don't think what's in that roadmap is enough to bring people back. The Sea of Thieves, I wasn't as interested when it first was announced. I'm much more interested in now, especially considering what I saw over the weekend with the Twitch streams. It's something I'm definitely going to try. And like I said, it's only going to cost me $10, right?
Yeah.
EA bringing back microtransactions, like you said, they don't care. They're beholden to their shareholders,
their stockholders,
at the detriment to us. And EA doesn't have anything I feel like I must have. So I will have no problems turning my back on them. And if they continue going down this road, I will turn my back on them.
Yeah. I can't really think of too many EA games that I buy on a constant basis. Like, cause I don't really do sports sims. So that's Madden, FIFA, all that's gone.
Yeah. So yeah.
I don't know. I haven't really been into what's it called? The Respawn game, Titanfall. Never got into that.
It's pretty good. But yeah, they released it. It got cannibalized by Battlefield 1. That's another mistake they made.
Don't play Battlefield. Don't play Battlefront. So EA honestly has nothing for me. I wouldn't mind turning back to them either.
And then with the online services, like I said, if you have an Xbox, you have a PlayStation, they're must have. The Switch Online, skip it unless you are real heavy into the couple of online games they do have.
Yeah, I agree 100%. Let us know what you guys think. We are on Twitter at AWGamingNS. You can also reach us on Facebook, a weekly gaming news show, or you can just use our call letters, AWGNS. Check us out, man. Leave us some comments. Let us know what you guys think. Rate the show if you're listening on your favorite podcasting app. And just give us any suggestions. We take all your suggestions into consideration. And if there's any stories that you would like for us to cover, or just talk about, send them to us. We take us user submitted stories, and make sure that you also ask us questions for the live Q&A section. We tend to keep it gaming related, but we do go off the cuff every once in a while. So anything pop culture related, movies, comics, and you can ask us just about anything that's pop culture related. We want to include you guys in the show and make this a better experience for you guys. So definitely reach out to us. Let us know if there's anything that we can do better, or if there's anything that you would like to see particularly, and we'll try to make it happen. We do have some changes coming up in the near future that we weren't going to try and implement. So hopefully you guys will be along for the ride for that. But if you are listening to us, you're taking us on the go, we definitely appreciate you. But Boogie, why don't you let them know exactly where they can listen to us if they choose to do so?
Okay, so if you're listening to us on the go, you want to take us on the go, we are in the general podcasting directory. Whatever podcatcher you use, just search us, A Weekly Gaming News Show, or AWGNS. We are also on iTunes, Google Play. Go to those places, rate us, leave us some comments and feedback. And we are also in TuneIn Radio. So if you have a smart speaker, if you have an Amazon Echo, you have a Google Home, or any of the other myriad of smart speakers out there, you can ask your smart speaker to play our show. Just ask it to play A Weekly Gaming News Show on TuneIn, and it will play the latest episode for you.
Yes. Technology at its finest. And for those of you that usually watch us live, we definitely appreciate you guys. This is a pre-recorded show because of the Super Bowl. We couldn't go live or during our regularly scheduled time. But going forward, and this is how it usually is. We go live every Sunday at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, with the videos going up on YouTube and other social media platforms that Monday at noon. Also, if you go to our YouTube channel, Boogie does the Weekly Gaming News 10 at 10 every Saturday at noon, so you can check that out as well. And just keep up with us. I also have a gameplay channel, the YTOS, where I upload a bunch of video game stuff. Got some pretty cool stuff coming down the line. You guys might want to check that out. Links for all of that will be down in the description. And of course, you can always check our sources on our Facebook page, because that is where we post the show notes for every podcast episode. So with that, I think we can go ahead and bounce up out of here. This has been A Weekly Gaming News Show, episode 86, and we are your hosts with the most. My name is Trenell.
I'm Todd.
And we will catch you guys next week.
Peace.